Here we go is right. Welcome back to the Weekend 34. That's Jimmy Mack. I'm Lindsay Lawler. Phone Master Dre on the ones and the twos, keeping us on the air and bringing us all the tunes. And, Jim, it's just us old folks around here diving into the world of streaming, so bear with us. But we know enough to know that we need to talk to the best when it comes to the professional streamers who are doing what they love, playing video games, doing it from the comfort of their own home, and living their best life. So, joining us next, BigNTastyy, a.k.a. Wyatt Blevins. He plays a variety of games. His top three, by the way, are The Last of Us, Outlast, and Call of Duty.
Outstanding.
We're going to talk to him about Call of Duty and how his dad was a bit of a duty in his own right. We'll get back to that. Right now, he's got over 25,000 followers and growing on a daily basis, on a minute-by-minute basis. A really nice thing to know as well, by the way, his duty dad we just talked about, he has been a truck driver for 32 years. So if it's good enough for Big Daddy, if it's good enough for BigNTastyy, it's good enough for us. We're talking video games. We're talking streaming. I want to hear why his name is BigNTastyy. I want to know what his favorite snacks are that he plays or that he eats while he's playing. Everybody, welcome to the program, Mr. Wyatt Blevins, a.k.a. BigNTastyy. Good morning, friend, making somewhat of a radio debut today. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing today?
We're good. We're happy you joined us, and we're happy to break you out of the screaming world and bring you all over to the dark side of radio. Maybe you could bring me the dark side of video gaming.
We're gonna make it happen.
The dark side has cookies. I'm okay.
Okay, let's go.
Cookies are on the dark side. By the way, we're going to start with Lindsay's question, as a matter of fact, since you brought up cookies. We want to know, Lindsay wants to know, what is your snack of choice when you're actually chowing down and playing video games?
It's probably different per game or per mood.
So when I'm streaming, I don't necessarily try to eat on screen. I know TikTok's AI is a little soft from that aspect, and they don't like pushing people eating. But I can destroy a whole box of zebra cakes in one sitting if I have a half gallon of milk next to me. You know what I mean?
Whoa, zebra cake! That's is that a Little Debbie situation?
That's a little, it's a little Debbie situation.
The white with
Go
the
ahead.
black. Yeah, I remember. I just went back to elementary school real quick.
Yeah, no, those are my kryptonite. Those and Krispy Kreme donuts.
Krispy Kreme donuts, and by the way, I get a little more fancy pants. Trader Joe's has a cookie called Maple Creams. And the cookies are shaped like maple leaves, but inside they have cream, and it's all maple flavored. And for some reason, I always buy them, and when I get home, I open the box and find the two are always missing. I don't know how this happens, Wyatt. I'm not sure. I'm going to complain about it. I wanted to ask you, because there's a lot of games on the table here, and the three games that you actually really adore, your top three, The Last of Us, Outlast, and Call of Duty, They actually cover a wide swath here, because we're talking about a third-person narrative-driven story, a very terrifying sort of traumatic first-person game, and then Call of Duty, which is everybody's favorite action go-to. I wanted to ask you, how old were you when you first played Outlast?
So I believe the first Outlast came out around 2014, so I believe I was a sophomore in high school. And the way that happened was I think it was on a discount on the PlayStation Store. So I downloaded it, and I had a really good friend of mine next to me, and we had no idea what we were getting into. But in the first 7 minutes of playing the game, I think I had jump scared probably 15 times, and it actually took me like 7 months to beat it because I couldn't handle the jump scares at the time.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. I'm going to really date myself here, but I think you're going to maybe either admire me or think I'm an old coot, probably both.
Or both.
So the first time I ever played Resident Evil, the game, my friend Kenny was next door playing, and all I ever heard was gunshots and, So I went over to check out what he was doing, and he and I ended up finally getting to the top of the building and defeating the giant snake, and we thought we'd won the game because old school video game rules applied, where you played a pretty short game that was difficult to win. It took you a while, and then you won it, only to find out that there were 20 more chapters to go. We then went out and bought Silent Hill and had the same experience you had when you played Outlast, is that it took us 4 months to finish the game because we kept literally only playing for like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and we're so traumatized by it, we just kept stopping. And I was kind of curious, when you when you finally got around to loving the game, what was the crossover point when you decided, man, I really love it? By the way, Outlast is a game where you're wandering through an insane asylum as a journalist, and you have no weapons, Lindsay. All you have is a video camera, which you use to see, and if you run out of batteries, you're in the dark with homicidal maniacs tracking you. Just wanted to put that out there.
Terrifying
When did you realize you loved that game? Wyatt?
When did you realize you were a psychopath, Wyatt? Oh no, that's not right.
The first time I hit a major checkpoint, it was very rewarding. Some endorphins were released, and I felt all that serotonin go through my body, and I realized, wow, this is really effing awesome.
That's cool.
Oh,
that we're talking about following your joy, but hey, when something lights you up, lean in. I love that.
And that leads to my second question. Lindsay's right. So you found your joy. So then you decided to share your joy. So can you talk about that? Can you kind of make that transition for us from being like the guy who just was excited sharing this with a friend, hitting that first checkpoint, to saying, man, I got to share this with everybody else. Talk to us about the move to TikTok.
So actually, and this is going to sound really crazy to everybody because nobody ever believes me, I actually started streaming in, I believe, 2021. And I was streaming on Twitch, and I'm not gonna lie, it was very, it was subpar. You know what I mean? I would stream to myself on a fake account that I made to give myself one viewer, and I did that for up until, I believe, February 7th of this year. So the move to TikTok, honestly, I've been streaming on TikTok for over a year, and it just happened. I just happened to hit a little momentum in February, and it was crazy because I was actually on the verge of selling all of my streaming equipment. I was completely done with streaming. I was going to turn my game room into like a little mini man cave. I was going to hang a big 65-inch TV and get a recliner and start being the dad that plays Call of Duty when he gets home from work. But I actually had a buyer, and it was a Friday. And I told myself, hey, I'm just going to get on here. He wanted to know that everything worked. I'm like, hey, I told him I'm going to stream. Come watch the stream. You'll be able to see that everything works. The microphone, the camera, the computer can handle everything you want it to. And I had a 12-pack of Coors Light, and I booted up a game called High on Life because PlayStation Network was down at the time. And I'm playing the game. I have a cold one cracked open next to me, and I look over, and I have 180 people watching, and I've never had that before.
Huh.
So I would look over, and I ended up getting absolutely blasted at 3 p.m. on a Friday because every time someone would follow, which there was a lot of them, I would take a huge swig of any drink that I could get my hands on. Yes. And I remember getting off, and like the euphoria that I was in was crazy because that was what I was waiting on this entire time. And in the back of my head, I'm like, well, this kind of sucks because I'm wanting to sell all my stuff now, and I have a dude that wants to buy it. So I told my wife, I was like, hey, like I'm going to stream for the next couple of days, and if I can get close to the same output, I think I'm going to have to try to pick up streaming again. So I continued to play High on Life, and I noticed the Saturday and the Sunday and even the Monday after that, I was still getting 80, 90 viewers. And I had to call the guy back and be like, hey, man, sorry, dude, but you can F off. I'm keeping this stuff.
I'm famous now. I need my stuff.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, I tell people, like, yeah, from the grand scheme of things, I don't have as many followers as someone should after streaming for 5 years and with the popularity that I have now. But then I'm like, but you got to understand, it started in February, and I've gained almost 30,000 followers since February, and it's been organic. I haven't had to bot my views. I haven't had to bot my comments. Everybody that comes, I have 40 to 50 people that are waiting for me to get on every day. And it's completely insane to me because, if you would have told me that I'd be in this spot right now 4 years ago, we probably would have gotten a fist fight.
You probably would have won.
By the way, given what you look like, I'd have a fighting chance, but you'd clean the floor with Lindsay. Although she can get inside, she's really
I'm scrappy.
tough.
I don't know. I'm pretty scrappy.
She's scrappy.
I'm
she's
pretty scrappy, but I feel
inside.
like Big and Tasty wouldn't hit a woman. Okay, so Big and Tasty, aka Wyatt Blevins, aka Big and Tasty. The streaming world baffles me, but I get it, but I don't. And even for someone like me who's an artist and a musician, where it makes complete sense to go on and do it. There's something that's always held me back. I don't know why. I'm curious your take on like why. What was the thing? Is it I'm going to make this odd correlation here. It's like, when someone's trying to get pregnant and they can't because they're just so focused on it, so then they stop, or they adopt a kid and they get pregnant, or they do acupuncture and get pregnant, whatever. It's like when you stop focusing on the thing, then the thing happens. Can you
What are you trying to say, Lindsay?
I'm pregnant. No. Can you say, is there any, do you think, correlation to you like deciding you weren't going to do it anymore, letting it go, and that's when the thing happened, when you released any of your own, what you thought it could or should be, when you released that, and then all of a sudden the thing happened? Like, what do you equate to why it happened with you? Everybody's got a different thing, and then we'll talk about what your hook is in a minute. But why in that moment, if you can go as existential or as grounded as you want with it, why and what shifted that people all of a sudden were like, here's my guy?
I honestly have to think that there was a higher power that kind of smiled on me there for a minute.
Hey.
But I was able to actually be myself and who I am as a person in that very first High on Life stream, because I'm very energetic. I'm very loud. I'm very obnoxious. I curse. I make jokes. I accept jokes. I banter back and forth with my chat. And I think something that we can't see or hear brought people to my live to see what I could be if I was given the opportunity to actually have a larger audience. So I'd like to think it was kind of just like a right time, right place, right circumstances, and then I think I got a little help from up above, if you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, totally.
I know exactly what you mean. We're going to play a little bit of a song here, come back, and after the song, give you a little bit of a timestamp and jump back into our conversation with BigNTastyy, a.k.a. Wyatt Blevins, a.k.a. BigNTastyy, as Lindsay has dubbed him. Hey, let's do this, Dre.
Safe to say I'm the biggest.
Over-the-road trucking companies, by the way, trust these guys to provide them quality customer service, generous lines of credit, and a nationwide network of fuel-saving truck stop locations, and they're doing it even now at 8:19 in the morning. Of course, I'm talking about the multi-service fuel card, who's been doing that gig since 1978. If you don't want to roll alone, make sure you go to neverrollalone.com at 8:19. And if you're hanging out with us, you're also hanging out with Wyatt Blevins, a.k.a. BigNTastyy, a.k.a. Wyatt Blevins, who we continue our conversation with on this particular morning. Lindsay actually brought this up. I keep stealing Lindsay's questions, but she comes up with better ones in response. In order to make this work, you can't just be like, I'm playing games on the video thing. You actually have to do things to keep your listeners engaged. You talk about being a big personality, a BigNTastyy personality. Talk about some of the ways you make this happen.
Oh, so I get compared to another streamer whose name is Queso, which is massive.
What?
More famous than me. Yeah, so I'm a big guy. I have long hair. I have the red beard. When I started, I kind of put on. It was a dare from my chat, but they were like, "Hey, go put on a hoodie." So I found a gray Carhartt hoodie and put it on, and I wore my headphones over the hood just like he does. And then all of a sudden, I had tons of people that were thinking that I was actually Queso coming into my live and getting super excited, like, wow, I didn't know you streamed on TikTok anymore. And I'm like, no, I've always been here. You know what I mean? But it's I think it's the fact that I can take the jokes that they give, man. If you guys were to ever watch my live and look at my chat, I'm getting called Avatar, the last chair bender.
Oh no, I've read them. I've read them, dude. It's brutal, dude. You are such a good sport, and you like to you are more mixing it up than a guy playing Big East basketball in the 1980s. You're terrific, dude. Absolutely. I mean, go ahead, go on.
But I was going to go over some comments, but I mean, I've been called the Incredible Bulk, John F. Chinity. Everybody says that I'm the reason they invented double doors, and yeah, like it's all for good fun. And once a lot of them realize that, hey, like I'm not gonna blow a gasket and go off on everybody and have a crash out, they're like, oh, this guy's actually really chill. Let me go ahead and follow him, and then they end up coming back into my live every single day that I go live. So I think it's just people coming in and realizing that I'm a chill dude. I have a very weird sense of humor. It's very large. I think I can find the comedy in absolutely anything. So, I mean, anybody can get it. I don't care what you look like and who you are, what your name is. Anybody can get the smoke, and I feel the same way. I feel like if you can dish it, you got to be able to take it.
Yeah.
And I think people respect that about me.
Well, listen, I mean, let's be honest. John F. Shinity, that's just smart. Chinity, that's actually just smart and funny. So, testament. Sometimes the comments are the best part, as long as it's, like you said, you're playing along, you're leaning into it. And listen, and I want to ask you about your name, but you go by BigNTastyy. So it's not like you're leaning into who you are rather than trying to hide it or something. You're owning it. And that's what's special about it. That's why people love you. Our own Tara the turtle around here, we actually found you through her. She's listening now and she wants to say hello. But she and her husband love you. They've gravitated towards you because you own who you are. That's the authentic piece. And that's what you said earlier. It's like when I just owned who I was, that's where the magic happened. So I think that's a beautiful thing. So let's talk about BigNTastyy. Where the heck does that name come besides the fact that you admit you're big and you like tasty things? Is it as simple as that or is it smarter than that?
So I actually learned not that long ago that BigNTastyy used to be a burger at McDonald's. I had no idea. But I played baseball for 9 years growing up. I played up until I was in, I think, either 8th grade or freshman in high school. And we were at a game, and I was up to bat. I batted cleanup. I think there was runners on first and third. And from the dugout, I just heard, "Come on, BigNTastyy!" And I was like, "Oh, well, that's my moniker now. I'm doing it." So, I would come up to the plate and I would sign a B with the bat on the home plate because I donned it. I was BigNTastyy from that point forward, and it's kind of carried over. Like I know a lot of streamers have struggles coming up with a name, but it was perfect for what I eventually ended up using it for, which is my online handle. And it's done wonders for me. People know who I am. They think it's a great play on words. A lot of people, they don't see the N, so I'm just either BigTastyy, or they don't see the T and I'm just BigNTastyy. But, either way, I'm happy.
I was trying to figure out, Jim, how I could be the yin to his yang because I'm a smaller human. If you're big and tasty, I was going to be small and nasty, but don't Google that because that's a whole different show, guys. Whole different show.
That's a show I actually I'm thinking about doing, starting at 9:00 in the center, 10:00 in the east.
PM.
Wyatt Blevins joins us this morning, aka BigNTastyy, aka Wyatt Blevins. I also wanted to ask you, in regards to what new games you're going to be starting, where are you going to be gravitating to next? Is there anything that's caught your attention or your imagination that you really like that you can't wait to get started on?
So there's a couple. So right now there was a remastered game that was released. It was the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It was remastered using Unreal Engine 5.
It's insane. It looks gorgeous. It looks gorgeous, Wyatt. It's unbelievable, right?
Compared to what I've seen, so I started with Skyrim. I never played Oblivion the first time it came out.
Right.
I started with the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. So, from what I've played of it, the game, they did absolutely amazing on the remaster. The voice acting, I can recognize so many voices in the game, and it's pretty surreal experience to be my first time playing it and to be such an old game to kind of experience, it like the first time and it looked the way that it does. It's a pretty amazing thing.
Let me ask you a question. When you start new games or when you kind of gravitate towards new games, does that ever actually give you new followers? Because I know there are people who literally follow a streamer who plays a particular game. I know that there's a whole bunch of maniacs who really just follow Jesse Faden from Control, who actually anytime anybody plays Control for the first time, they jump in. And do you find that when you start a new game or start a particular level or mission that you actually are able to increase your followers that way? And my follow-up question is, how do you increase your followers? Do you do anything outside of the stream itself to make sure that people know who BigNTastyy is, or do you just let the organicity of the situation continue to grow?
So actually every game does have its own audience, and I know everybody can kind of sense that when they go and watch somebody. But no, yeah. So when I started playing The Last of Us, the Last of Us group of people, I gained. I think I hit. I think I gained almost 4,000 followers just playing The Last of Us Part 2 by itself. And And then, I switched back over to Call of Duty. So, the new Call of Duty crowd is coming over and starting to follow me like crazy. And before that, it was the Outlast people that were following me like crazy. I think I hit my 10K followers playing Outlast. And then before that, it was the High on Life. I think I gained 500 new followers that first stream that I played High on Life. So, there's a lot of avenues to take, especially when you play different games. And the way that I do it outside of streaming, I don't have a lot of extra time during my day to actually try to record and post other content. I do work full time, and a little caveat to my dad being a driver for over 30 years. I also work in the freight industry. I'm a dock worker for a large LTL company.
Oh, nice.
And so anyone that is listening that has ever worked a dock, you know that you have a start time and not a set end time. So I could work 10, 12, 14 hours a day. So when I come home, I don't necessarily have the time to brainstorm and come up with the extra content I do. So everything that I do, I hit that go live button, and then it's raw from there. I don't do any warm ups. I don't plan. It just whatever happens. You know what I mean?
Well, because it's all gravy at that point. You've already put your time in the day, and now it's just let's have fun. Let's see what happens, and that's joy. That's where the miracle and the magic happens. So I have a question for you. Knowing that I am not, as you know, I'm not a gamer. I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I'm open. It just hasn't been my bag. What can someone like me? What should be my gateway drug to you? What would be your best video or what game you're playing that you could sell me to be a gamer?
I would tell you to come watch me play Call of Duty because I'm very animated when I play it. I get loud and I get very upset at the most minute details, and it's very entertaining and it's very funny for my viewers. There's times where you'll watch me go through a progression. I'm reaching to grab things to throw them, but everything in the room is expensive, so I can't throw it. And then you'll watch me on camera. I've busted my desk because I hit it so hard. I've done so many things in rage moments that I think would definitely let you gravitate towards me and then want to come back and watch me do it the next day because I always come up with something new to say or something new to do.
Well, he's right. I did see that, what he's talking about, and he's right. It was entertaining. It helped me realize that I'm not as crazy as I think, that other people out there are also losing their you-know-what on things that excite them. So check out Big and Tasty, a.k.a. Wyatt Blevins, a.k.a. Big and Tasty. Go on over to TikTok, do @Big and Tasty Gaming. That's where you'll find him. It's good stuff. Thanks for making the time. Maybe I'll be a gamer because of you, Big and Tasty. I like the Swiss rolls from Little Debbie, so maybe we can get together and have those. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Thank you, guys.
Hold on tight. We'll talk to you on the break. Guys, we'll be back after this with baseball and country and Western music news.